Hello and a very warm welcome to one and all present here. This is Laksh Mittal, your host for the day, connecting live from India. And I'm very excited to host today's masterclass brought to you by Recurum. Our vision at Recurum is pretty simple. Okay, it's about to onboard a million enthusiastic users to the Web3 revolution. And that is why I and we at Recurum bring to you a one of a kind masterclass series transitioning into Web3. The world is heading towards a very close knit ecosystem. Close knit in the sense intertwined, a connected ecosystem. And as time passes, different fields, like finance and technology, are working together. Various other fields as well. Correct. And this is where Web3 comes to the front. Web3 is all about building communities through the power of decentralization, blockchain, and the secret sauce. And yes, this is now the time in our world for us to hop on to the train of transitioning into Web3. But before we get started for today's masterclass, let me give you a sneak peek of what Requiem does. Web3 is the new internet and is meant for anyone who wishes to be a part of a transparent, efficient, and autonomous ecosystem. This is where Requiem steps in. We help attendees from events discover Web3 jobs. To keep it very simple, Recurum connects Web3 professionals to Web3 companies through Web3 events. Well, today we have more than 200 plus jobs active at this event. If you want to avail them, and if you are, streaming this online from anywhere across the internet, let it be YouTube, Twitter, or LinkedIn, hop onto the Recurum website, log into your ID, and watch it live and avail these opportunities. Adding on, we are also providing PO app NFTs, which is proof of attendance NFTs for you for this particular event. So if you want to take a unique piece of memory from today's event, you have a chance. So log into the Recurum website again, drop in your wallet addresses, or best of what, connect your wallet addresses to the Recurum login and avail these NFTs. Today, let me introduce you to a company which is young yet very driven towards growth and is wanting to disrupt a very unique area in the DeFi ecosystem. And with that, we have their founder, okay, who has been very having a very hustle mindset and moving towards building a very DeFi plus DSO project in this Web3 ecosystem. So let's bring on stage Shalu, who is the founder of Trikl.
Hi,
Hi.
hi. How are you doing?
Shalu, I'm not being able to hear you properly. Could you try
Yeah,
speaking
sorry.
again?
I was on mute. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, how
Hi.
are you?
I am doing pretty well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good too. Doing great.
Great.
Yeah.
So, Shalu, how have you been? How has your day been? Has it been hectic to be, like a woman entrepreneur, where it has been, like I've heard about women's DAO or superwoman's DAO,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. Yes, correct.
Right, right. So, how does it feel to be a woman entrepreneur in Web3?
Yeah, it's great actually. Today's day was little bit hectic, but yeah, it was good. It's like
It's
the
a
other
pretty
days.
simple day. It's a regular day.
Yeah, it's a regular day and like regular weekend as well. So yeah. Correct.
Okay,
And yeah,
awesome.
I am a part of Superwomen DAO. It's pretty good DAO. I mean, the members are very active over there, and like we
Right.
do have actually many founders there, female
Oh,
founders. So yeah,
would
I
you want
mean,
to tell more about Superwoman DAO a little? Would you want to take that?
yeah, sure. So I think the founder is Aditi Chopra, and she
Yes.
created this group. I think a year back or sometime, and then their main motive was to curate all the women's at one place so that we can help each other grow in Web3 community, because we all know that right now the women participation is pretty low, right, in Web3. So yeah, I mean, interacting with those people is great, and like you get a great network, and you get to like interact with those people who have the same mindset as you. So yeah, it's been great to be a part of Super Women DAO. Yeah,
Definitely, definitely. Why not? You or yourself are a superwoman.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's talk about that. So, Shalu, why don't you tell us about your story, your background? How did you come up to Trikl? Okay, let's go with that. I heard you're an IIT Bombay graduate as well,
Yes.
right? Let's
Yeah.
start with your what's your journey? What's the focal point over there? Let's start there.
Yeah, sure. So as you mentioned, like I'll start from my college. How's my
Okay,
journey been? So I graduated from IIT Bombay in 2019, and after that I joined Capgemini. So in
nice.
Capgemini, I was handling the operations and applications part for one of the largest cruise line, and like
Okay,
which is Disney Cruise Line. I'm not sure have you heard it or not, but yeah, they have like four cruises. So I was handling that part, and I think in around 2021, I was doing great in Capgemini. I was enjoying my work, but something hit me that I don't want to do this. Like when I imagine myself like down 5 years, right? So I
right,
wanted to do something different. So that's when I decided that I'll do startup, right? And then
good.
I came up. I started talking. I know I don't know how, but I got in touch with some social media artists on
Okay,
Instagram, which were selling their products on Instagram, and they were doing their small business thing, right, on a site.
correct.
So I got in contact with them and I started talking with them, and then I created my first company, which was called WeCrat, where we created a marketplace for them where small business owners can directly come. They'll get their portfolio kind of thing, and then people can come buy their products, and then we were handling the operation part of it. So yeah,
Oh,
that was my
awesome.
first startup. Yes, and in like at the end of 2021, we decided to pivot to digital products, and that's where NFTs came into picture. And then I got into Web3 space completely, and
Right,
somehow we got this idea of Trickle, which is my current startup. Yeah,
right,
so
right.
that's the journey has been.
Awesome. That's very good. It's like you have been a serial entrepreneur, okay, working
Yeah,
in different fields, okay.
yeah,
And it's not about, doing something different in life. It's basically trying a different lifestyle. Okay, that is
correct.
what I have also learned because the lifestyle you try to choose after two or two, like after some time at Capgemini, I actually
Yeah.
chose that while I was in college. Okay.
Oh,
So
that's great. Yeah, yeah,
right, right. So I totally, resonate with you with that mindset that what would I be in the next 5 years, and that's
yeah,
how you have to, like great Steve Jobs says, connect the dot backwards. So I started
yeah,
connecting the dots backwards from 5 years, right, and
yeah.
that's where I am right now, and I'm pretty, I feel you're also in a place where you're loving what you're doing, and I feel
Correct.
the same with me as well, right?
Yeah.
So
Even if like I'm doing this work like for 24/7, but I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I'm getting
exactly.
that satisfaction, right?
Correct,
Yes.
correct. And this, I am not sure if if this motivates other people or not, but definitely this is something which I feel you as a person, me as a person, have chosen, correct, for
Yes.
us. And definitely, if someone is skeptical about choosing it or not, I feel they should and they should try it out,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Correct,
I
correct.
mean, whether they take the risk or not, but you should always like see where you want yourself in next 5 years and set those goals, right? So
Okay,
that's like everyone should do. Yeah. Even in
exactly.
your jobs. Yeah.
Exactly, definitely, definitely. I totally agree to you on that. Right. So coming down to seeing your journey. Okay, you started with one of the businesses. You closed that probably. I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Post that you started working in digital assets and NFTs. Okay, and now you have turned to working on Trickle. Okay.
Okay.
So would you want to say like yeah, was the digital assets and NFTs that you were working on, was that starting point for Trickle, or like was it a different thing?
No, I think that's a different thing. We just explored NFTs when we decided that we want to go into the digital space. So we started exploring NFTs, but we didn't create a marketplace or anything. We just started, and then we got into like whole Web3 space. As we were already in like NFT space, so we thought let's explore all Web3. And that time around, like I think it was around January or February this year, 2022. So slowly the lockdown was opening and many meetups started happening in Bangalore itself, right? Web3
Oh,
meetup.
okay. Yes.
So there we went, and I think it was one of the meetup of OG Club DAO, which is
Oh,
also a
yeah, yeah.
great DAO. Yeah. So they also have a great community. So we went there and we started talking to people, right? And everyone was doing like different things in this space, and there was a lot to learn for us, right? That's
Hmm.
where we decided, okay, just like directly, let's not go into NFT marketplace or something. Let's first explore like what actual problems are there in Web3 space, and then try to solve that particular problem, right? So
Right,
yeah,
right.
that's how I decided for Trikl. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. So it's like it's more. See, what I learned from this is basically that it's better to first analyze and then enter into something rather than just jumping upon what's the new thing that's that's hot around there. Correct.
Yes. Correct.
So, like as much as I understand, like the idea of trickle is around DeFi. Plus, like we discussed, it also involves DSO, basically decentralized social media as well.
Correct.
Correct. So, would you want to give a simple introduction on how what trickle does, okay, and how it can be helpful? Let's start. Let's go there.
Yeah, sure. So, Trickle is basically like in simplest term, it's a decentralized social platform for DeFi communities who want to learn and earn crypto, right? In simple way. Yeah. So this is the simplest definition I can give of Trickle. And now coming to your second question, how did we get into this space or this idea?
Yeah.
So, as I said, right, we started exploring this space, and when we started ourselves like investing in crypto, we actually followed few, I mean, traders and like YouTubers, right?
Okay.
Following their signals and following their recommendation, we started investing. First,
Hmm.
I started like from WazirX and then moved to Binance, right? So this is how my journey been. And after I mean, when we started talking also, right, to users like who are in crypto space, who had some Ethereum or Bitcoin, right? Their journey also started the same way, right? They also followed some YouTubers or traders or experts in this space, right? So I think this is the common thing which we saw in the space. Like everyone is following someone to because we are in so busy in our lives, we don't have such time to, I mean, read the markets and like predict the movements of the market, right? So we
Correct.
generally follow those. So that's how the idea of Trickle came. We wanted to I mean, make a product which will help these new investors in this space to I mean, easily invest in crypto. And when we started talking or like looking at those traders, like they already have their community on Telegram, Discord. They have huge communities like
Yeah.
75K, 100K members in their Telegram groups. So that's when we thought they already have their community. They already have some members who are paying them. But the main problem was that those groups are unreliable. The reputation system is not there, right? I mean, if I go to Telegram, I don't know like whether this group is genuine or not, and whether if I'll pay some money, right? That will go to the correct account or not, or
Correct.
whether I'll get that services which were promised before paying. So that
Okay.
plays a role in that. So that's why we thought with Trickle, we wanted to bring everything on chain in a decentralized form so that everything can be transparent. And we are right now doing memberships via recurring crypto payments. So we have something called Superfluid, which enables that. And we are also using Oracle, CPNS to do that. So
Nice, nice. That's pretty awesome. That's
that's
pretty
why it's a DSO and DeFi product.
product. Correct,
Yeah,
correct. Like we were speaking before the session, right? It's definitely a mix of both because I feel somewhere everybody knows that Web3 is all about communities,
correct.
right? Correct,
Hmm.
and that's definitely a very important vertical for every company in Web3 because they definitely have to build that. Correct.
Correct.
Okay,
Hmm.
awesome. So, Shalu, like I hope now it's time for we can enter into the slides that you have already prepared. Okay, around
Sure.
what is DeFi, how it works, all of that. Okay, and let's start with that. So you can probably start sharing your screen, and we can enter that, and I'll catch you up after that.
Sure. Yeah, thank you so much. I'll start sharing my screen.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yes, we are here. Let's
Okay.
start.
I hope you guys are able to see my screen. So yeah, I'll be talking on how to get started with DeFi. Okay, so before that, a little bit about my journey. I think you guys already have heard that. I think I can skip this part, but yeah, just a quick intro that I graduated from IT Bombay in 2019, and after that I joined Capgemini, and somewhere around 2021 only I got this idea to start up, and that's where I created my first company called Recrat, which was a marketplace for small business owners in India. And this year I started with Trikl, which is a decentralized social platform for DeFi communities. So yeah, that's a quick intro about myself. Okay, so before going into DeFi, let's understand the evaluation of internet and like where did Web3 come from. Okay, so earlier when the internet came, right, that was called Web 1.0, and the websites at that time were only in a readable form. Like as we can in today's date, right, we can go to Instagram, we can post something that was not there in like before in Web 1.0. And actually there is a interesting fact, not many people know that, but when internet came it was kind of a decentralized, because everyone having computer can like host their servers, right? And at that time it was like many computers were hosting servers, and that became the interaction between browser and clients. So but later on, slowly it became centralized. But yeah, when it started it was completely decentralized. And after 1.0 we moved to web 2.0, where we had read and write access. So you can, for an example, I can give Instagram, Facebook, or Telegram, or Twitter, where we can interact with the web or application, right? We can send data to the application server, and then they store it in their servers. So why Web3 came into picture is that, see, the problem why Web3 is needed is that the problem is all our data is stored in those with those centralized companies. They can misuse our data, they can manipulate our data, like Google probably knows more things about you than yourselves. So yeah, that was the idea of whole Web3. It was for like about making it completely decentralized, and it was mostly focused on decentralized finance, right, in improving the finance system in our world or ecosystem, right? So moving to next, there are some interesting use cases of Web3. I'll start with DAOs. It is basically a decentralized autonomous organization where a group of people come together, and they manage and control that entity, right? There will be some token holders who will, that will help them in making decisions. Okay. Now, second thing is there are so many applications in Web 2 which can be moved to Web 3 right now. Okay, so for example, there is a Twitter that can be made in completely Web 3 form, and there can be Patreon which can be made into like completely Web 3 form. So there are so many use cases such in Web 2 to Web 3 world. Now, coming to third use case, which is metaverse. Metaverse is basically where you can go in a 3D virtual space via an avatar, and then you can make virtual relationships and like friends, and then hang out with them in a virtual space. So that's the idea of whole metaverse, and that can be like anonymous as well. And next one is NFTs, that is non-fungible tokens. So basically, to give a gist about it, we have fungible tokens and non-fungible tokens, right? So fungible tokens means you can consider it as a Bitcoin and Ethereum. Both are considered as fungible tokens. That means every token will have the same value. Like one Bitcoin should every time will be equal to other Bitcoin, right? And same goes with Ethereum and other tokens. But when it comes to non-fungible tokens, NFTs, they all holds a unique value to them, and unique characteristics and unique metadata, right? So that's the difference between NFTs and like non-fungible tokens and fungible tokens. And DeFi space is completely like right now, I think 2021, 2022, and next years down the line is the main era of DeFi community, because now we have the solid infrastructure to make dApps on it and like scale to next level, and then increase the adoption of DeFi in like in the world. So yeah. Okay. I'll come to the definition. Like this is the main definition for DeFi, but I'll explain it to you guys in simple terms. So let's say right now we go to a bank, deposit our money there, and then whenever we have to like make any transaction, we like withdraw it from there, right? So our money is with the banks right now, right? And that is a centralized authority which can anytime use our funds when they can use our funds, right? And in DeFi world, what happens is you own your own money, right? There are some systems which enables you to hold your own assets, and that's the whole idea of DeFi. It's called decentralized finance, where it uses P2P network. Basically, you can like transfer and sell, buy tokens in a P2P manner, like like you can send your tokens to another person without any centralized authority. So that's the simple definition of DeFi. And why DeFi? The benefits of it is, one, it's transparent because we are using blockchains to host that. Blockchains are open chain, and I mean, anyone can audit your transactions anytime because the data is available on chain, and no one can misuse the transaction part. There's no corruption will be there in blockchain space or DeFi space, right? Everything is transparent. Second, yeah, again, auditability, because everything is open source. That's why we can anytime audit any transaction. And the third one is composability. So any DeFi app can be, so let's say I have one app made on Ethereum, right? That can be forked and reused on Polygon, or like let's say Solana if you change the language. So that's the reusability part of DeFi ecosystem. Okay. So now let's understand. I already gave an example of traditional and decentralized um, finance, but like with this picture you can get a clear understanding with it. Like with traditional system, there is some bank. Okay, if you want to transfer any money to another person, first your bank will need to interact with a third party application, let's say the Visa card, Mastercard, or let's say UPI. Okay, and then UPI will now interact with the receiver's bank and then send that money to that bank, right? Data to their bank, and then the receiver will receive the money. But in decentralized finance system, you can directly send via the smart contracts. You can directly send that money to the receiver. There's no centralized authority comes into play. So your data is with you and your money is with you. It's not transferred between like any third party. Okay. And so this is the main difference. Now I think before we get started with DeFi, the first step is to set up your wallets. Now coming to wallets, there are so many type of wallet. Let me help you with that. So there are first type is custodial versus non-custodial wallets. So non-custodial, I'll first explain the custodial wallet part. So custodial wallet is basically, let's say you open your account in some exchange, let's say WazirX or CoinDCX, right? So they will have your custodial wallet made, and all your assets will be stored in that wallet. Okay, but the keys and the authorization will be with the CoinDCX team. Okay, and with that company you don't hold those assets. But when it comes to non-custodial wallet, there's a great example. I think you might know it, MetaMask, which is a non-custodial wallet. Which so basically it means your private keys, your data is with you only, and you own those tokens or assets, whichever is in your wallet. Okay. Now, with non-custodial wallet also there are two types. One is hot wallet and cold wallet. So hot wallet basically means MetaMask again, that is connected to the internet, and it is basically used for regular payments. Okay, when you have to like regular transact your money assets on your non-custodial wallet, you'll use hot wallets, which is like directly connected to the internet, and it will have like more accessibility to it. But the main problem with it is like it is prone to cyber attacks. There are so many hacks happening and so many scams happening. So yeah, one thing you should always take care is to not share your private key with anyone. Now coming to cold wallet, I think that you might have heard it, like some people keep their assets like crypto assets in offline way. Okay, so that is called cold wallet. We can have a wallet with us like offline, and we can store our assets in that. But the problem is we can't interact with it like on a regular basis because it's much more inconvenient. So yeah, that's the idea of the wallets. I hope that's clear. Now, this is the ABC of decentralized finance. So I'll be just quickly explaining few terms which is connected to decent DeFi. So one is called lending. Okay, so lending is basically offering your cryptocurrency in terms of loans to other, like to borrowers, in a trustless manners. Okay, so with this image, I think on this side, I can say like your money is will go, like if you are a lender. Okay, so your money will go into a smart contract pool, and let's say you have, it's backed by Ethereum, right? Let's say you are on Ethereum ecosystem. Okay, so now your transaction will on the blockchain, it is recorded there, and your like assets will be with the smart contract pool. Okay, and now if someone wants to borrow it, they can take that money from a smart contract and then pay it back with some interest, and you will get some interest and some passive income from that lending. Okay, now second thing is liquidity. So in DeFi, I would say, like in dApps, which is decentralized application, this total value logged is called liquidity. Okay, so basically whatever amount of tokens or whatever amount of money which is hold in that decentralized application dApp, it's called its liquidity. Okay, and I think without liquidity, there will be no DeFi, because then you are saying that there is no money in my application. So yeah, there is no liquidity, there is no money, so there is no application as well. And DeFi protocols provide incentives to the liquidity provider. Okay, so I was explaining about lending, right? So whenever you lend your money or cryptocurrency or tokens to any protocol, they will give you a lending tokens. Okay, to incentivize you, and they will also, like once you want to withdraw your lend whichever money you lended, whenever you withdraw it, you will get some interest out of it. So it's kind of a passive income. Okay, now second, I think the main one is staking versus farming. So basically there are two types of assets you can like so with I'll first explain the staking part. So yeah, like here we can say, like I can validate your transaction. So staking is basically used whenever you want to work for that ecosystem. Okay, let's say okay, the great example about the merge. Okay, so right now Ethereum is moving from proof of work consensus mechanism to proof of stake, and in proof of stake we need validators. Okay, validators to validate any transaction happening on that ecosystem or on that blockchain. So in that case, validators will stake some money to the ecosystem, in the ecosystem, and then that staked money, whenever you validate any transaction on those staked money, you will get some rewards. Okay, so this is the second kind of uh, passive income you can make by being a validator in some ecosystem. Now coming to farming. Okay, farming is more of like lending your money. Okay, so that you can say, like in this girl is saying, I have too much crypto, what to do? Now if you have like many crypto assets with you, you are holding that in your wallet and you want to use it somewhere, so you can lend it to some protocols. Okay, and that in return you can get some interest out of it, or you can get liquidity tokens, and then you can incentivize that token which was like just kept in your wallet. So yeah, That's about staking and farming. Now, coming to use cases of DeFi. So there are so many use cases which you can build, and like there are so many business opportunity and business use cases. Okay, so one is the first one is asset management. So there are so many wallets, you name it, right? Coinbase wallet, there is MetaMask, there is Phantom, there are so many wallets. So what these guys do is manage your assets. They are managing your crypto tokens. So they enable you to sell, buy, or transfer any digital asset, and they like on site they also maintain your sensitive data, like in this wallet, because you own that asset, you also have to take care of your private keys, so that you can these asset management companies are hosting that data, but that is encrypted form. Okay. Now, second use case is DAOs. So DAOs, how DAOs are like, I think in starting I explained a little bit about decentralized autonomous organization. So the main difference between the centralized ones and decentralized ones is, in centralized organization there is one person who makes the decision, okay, or the top level persons or personals will make the decision of that company. But in decentralized autonomous organization, what happens is everyone is involved in the decision making process. And if you hold the tokens, so basically, yeah, that's where the DeFi aspect comes into picture. There are tokens in a DAO to run that, and if you hold that those tokens, you will be eligible to vote in the decision making of that organization. So that's how DAOs work. And I think, yeah, the third one is synthetic assets. So as we have derivatives, right, which derives their value from an underlying assets. So in that same similar manner, we have synthetic assets in crypto. So what happens is, let's say there is ETH, there is Bitcoin. So there is one company called Synthetics. What they do is they copy, like they follow the values or the price of these tokens, and they made their own tokens called as ETH, as Bitcoin. Okay, so those so yeah, as ETH or as Bitcoin. So these kind of synthetic tokens or synthetic assets can be used in multiple cases. Okay, so let's say if you for example, if you want to create a DeFi product, okay, or a trading kind of a product, so you can use these synthetic tokens and you can follow the values of ETH or Bitcoin in real time. Okay, and this can be, I think, handled by the oracles. Okay. Now the third one is P2P lending and borrowing. I think I already talked about lending, what is it, and borrowing and farming. But yeah, it's the same thing. You can build a DeFi protocol which enables P2P network to lend and borrow their assets. Okay. Now, the last one would be infrastructure tooling. So right now, as I said, like now I think we are at that stage where we have a base infrastructure to build upon that. Okay. So when, let's say, come to Ethereum DeFi ecosystem, okay. So we have the base layer of Ethereum. Then we have the node infrastructure. Node infrastructure like Infura or Alchemy, what they do is they provide us nodes to interact with the blockchain without us having those nodes installed or like set up in our own system. We can directly interact with those nodes via their API. And then there we have layer 2 scaling solutions, which are like Polygon and Optimism. We can use that. And there are so many applications which are built upon these ecosystem, in this ecosystem. Okay. So yeah, now I think we are ready and we have that base layer of infrastructure on which we can build many DeFi apps and decentralized applications. So yeah, that's it about DeFi. Now coming to challenges in DeFi space right now. One, obviously, like low liquidity. I think last year somewhere we achieved that 50-50% like CFI and DeFi transactions on blockchain. But again, right now the liquidity is pretty less in decentralized finance, like DeFi space. The user experience is quite a pain, because you will have, like, when a Web2 users comes in, they will have to set up their MetaMask wallet, transfer some funds into it, and all of this stuff. And then there are smart contract bugs. If you are not audited well, your smart contract is not audited well, it is many hackers will come and like put up some scam and those things. Now, third one is Oracle manipulations. So someone can tamper with your Oracle data. Okay, so Oracles has basically sends the real time data to the smart contract. So it's used in that. Now, regulations are not very clear, like many governments have not clearly mentioned, and right now DeFi is in the gray zone. And as we all know, like there are so many scams and hacks happening in DeFi world and like Web3 in general. So yeah, we should take that precaution always, like never fall for a scam and never share your private keys and with anyone. So yeah, I think that's it from my end. I hope I was able to explain you something today, and thank you so much for your time. Yeah.
Hi, Shalu. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Hi, Lakshay.
Hi, hi. Thank you so much, Shalu. I saw what you just taught throughout the whole, from slide one to slide, whatever it was, I did not count. But
Right.
definitely, it's like DeFi 101. Okay, it's like the
Yeah.
basics of someone who's wanting to enter into, let's take understanding finances in Web3. Okay, that's
Yes.
basically how DeFi works, right? You spoke about wallets, hot wallet, cold wallet. Okay, you spoke about private keys, different types of assets. Okay, synthetic assets as well. Okay,
Yes.
yes, definitely. So, how do you feel now? Like, how has the whole timeline been?
Yeah, yeah, I feel great. I mean, it was my first time giving a session like having the session like this. So yeah, it was a really great experience for me that where I can share my knowledge, what I have learned in this past few months or like a year. So yeah, it was really great. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Yeah,
Right, right, great. Before we enter into, some questions which the community has and even, which we have already prepared,
yeah,
I'd like to ask, like, see, how, if someone is approaching to learn something in Web3, okay, let's say when you were trying to learn about the whole concept around DeFi, the basics around it, all the parallel keywords around it, okay,
right.
how should they approach it? That is one. And second, we'll try. Okay, first let's go this. Then I'll try to enter into the DeFi concept as well. Let's first
Sure, sure,
go.
sure. So basically, you are asking like how one get started in DeFi like in real time, right? Like.
Yeah, not only DeFi. Basically, let's take someone who's starting to learn in Web3.
Hmm.
How should they approach the learning curve?
Okay. 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 Got it. Got it. Yeah. So basically, when I started, I'll just share my journey. How did I start? Okay. So I started with following some YouTubers. One is like, I forgot that, but yeah, there are some great YouTube channels which you can follow. One is DAP University, and there is one famous one which I'm not remembering now, but yeah, that is also one great channel. I'll share it with you later. Yeah, so
All
I
right.
started with YouTube, okay, and seeing those videos. Then after that I moved to some articles on Medium, okay, where I got to like try on some things on my own, like setting up the wallet and everything. And then after I had the basic setup with me, like I had my MetaMask setup, then I went to like do some transactions. Okay, like I use testnet, basically like Ringby or Polygon. You can use any one of them and do some basic transaction, understand how the whole thing works, look at blockchains, look at your real time transaction. Okay, and then you will understand like how this whole things works. That's very simple. I think that's not a very big challenge, but once you get that basic understanding right, after that you should, I think, in my suggestion, what I did is I went back a little step and went to white papers of these ecosystem. I started with white paper of Bitcoin, then Ethereum. Okay, and I think that like in today's world there are light papers as well. With many DeFi protocols and dApps, they have light papers which are easier to understand, and they are not very technical. There you will just get a gist of it. Okay, so that's also a very good thing to learn and get into the system. So start reading those as well. And I think third thing is actually building something. There are like weekend projects, like you will get YouTube videos like 2 days projects or like 24 hours project. You can try that. I mean, that's a great learning for me as well. Yeah, so that
Okay.
that was how I started, and I would suggest others also to do the same. Yeah.
Right, awesome. That's definitely there. Like, just keep reading, keep learning. The learning curve will keep on exponentially growing. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So with that, let me ask you. Let's take I am a person who has learned whatever you just taught me. Okay, I went into pretty detail about what is DeFi, DeFi 101. I read all the basics. I learned all the basics. Now
Hmm.
what next?
Okay. So there are two aspects. Okay. So one
Okay.
aspect, if you are looking to build something useful, okay, or you are looking to make a company or run a startup. Okay. So that's one way to look at it. Second way is you just want to keep going into the ecosystem and you just want to learn and apply it in your daily life. Okay. So
Okay.
I'll just first talk about the first scenario where you want to build something. In that scenario, I think you should try to, like I was saying before, right? You will do some small projects at the start, and then I think participating in hackathons is very good. Like there are so many bounties there are so many protocols which are giving huge bounties, and you will be incentivized and you will be motivated to participate more and more in those hackathons. And after some hackathon, there will be some accelerator programs as well, in which you can go and like explore your projects and like evolve it into a full startup mode. Okay, so that's the
Right.
flow for builders. Second, if you just want to learn and get deep into the ecosystem and you want to use it in your daily life, I would suggest go practical, like do real time transaction, go on those protocols and try it out, try those platforms. But in those, just beware of the scams. I'll not. Yeah, I am just repeating myself, but yeah, beware of the scams. You should not lose your assets in like some scammy protocol or like DApp. So yeah, just verify you are connecting your wallet to the right protocols or verified protocols, and you will get that information openly because everything is open source. You can see like whether the smart contract is audited or not. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sounds pretty, simple and yet interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So here comes, like one of the questions which I have been, wanting to ask. So you mentioned earlier that Trickle is about building DeFi communities, correct? And currently there are so many communities around there, which are already providing, like basically the thing that you already mentioned. The when you're trying to build a space where all communities can thrive together, correct?
Correct.
Now my
Correct.
question comes, how I as a person, okay, should be able to understand which community is good for me or which community isn't good for me?
Yeah. Okay. So right now, as I think I previously as well mentioned, that right now the reputation system is missing, right? There is no ratings or reviews for any groups right now because they are like very informal and very unorganized. So with Trickle, we are trying to bring that reputation system in the market where you will be able to see openly what particular services this community is giving to you after you subscribe to it via
Hmm.
monthly subscriptions, and as well as if you are already a part of a community, you will be able to rate that community. Okay, so that you will obviously give the genuine advice to others, right? Genuine rating, genuine reviews about that community as a anonymous user, right? You just connect your wallet and be a part of that community. So there's no like your real identity is not there. So you will give genuine advice to others as well. So yeah, that reputation system is what we are aiming to build. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So would you want to tell me like what all factors are on which this reputation factor depends on?
I think one is whatever is promised that is being served. Let's say one expert is saying, I'll provide this many newsletter, let's say five newsletter about the market condition per week. Okay. Second, I'll give you five signals, like five signals to you in a week, or let's say there's some promise made right before you subscribe to it. Whether those promised are being actually made or not, like completed or not. So that would be the one, I think, aspect of making this reputation system. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And second would be like I know no one can predict the market that well because crypto is pretty volatile. But if you are able to make that return, then good, you will stick to that expert, right? So yeah, that would be the second one. Yeah,
No, but the return we can do it like average return, right? Like
average return.
yeah. So on an average, even if there are bad losses or great, profits, there can be an average monthly return or something like that.
Yeah.
Then the
We can.
credibility factor also pushes in.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So now we have currently a few questions which the community wants to ask. Okay,
Okay.
let's go ahead with that. Let's have the first question on the screen. Okay, what is the ETH merge? I hope everyone
Okay.
did that, but would you like to shed some light?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Ethereum, when Ethereum was created, right, back in I think 2012 or 13 kind of timeline when it was in early phase, that time Bitcoin came first, right? And Bitcoin is made upon proof of work consensus mechanism. Okay, there are some miners who do who solve a complex mathematical puzzle to include any block or any transaction into the main blockchain. Okay? So
Okay,
Ethereum also was made on the same consensus mechanism, but later on we explored other mechanisms, other consensus as well, right? Like proof of a stake and proof of reputation. Many consensus mechanisms are coming nowadays. Okay, so now proof of stake is another kind of consensus mechanism which uses validators, which I was talking in my PPT as well. Okay,
exactly.
there are some validators who stake some native tokens to that ecosystem, and then they validate the transaction whatever is happening in the chain, and then after that validation it is added to the main blockchain. So ETH merge is nothing but moving, like, it's kind of an upgrade for Ethereum from moving proof of work to the proof of stake consensus mechanism. So yeah.
Okay, so to make it more, spicy, is it possible for even Bitcoin as well to become proof of stake?
Uh, I mean, I'm not pretty sure because, like, for Ethereum also they did many tests. Okay, or right now, basically there is some beacon chain. Okay, so they create, like, few years back they created a instance of the main Ethereum chain, which is called a beacon chain right now. And beacon chain is running on proof of stake right now. Okay, there are some validators in the ecosystem; those are running the beacon chain, and now with the merge is basically mixing that beacon chain to the main Ethereum chain. Okay, that's why it's called the merge. So I'm not pretty sure about the Bitcoin, but yeah, for Ethereum as well, like for this ecosystem as well, there were like many testing went into this event happening right now. So yeah,
Yeah, it's actually in the
we will
next.
have to test things around. Yeah.
Correct. It's almost like it's. I guess it's in the next few hours. The Ethereum
Yeah, yeah,
merge.
yeah. Yes,
Correct.
it's
Okay.
less than 24 hours. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. Awesome. Let's move it to the next question then.
sure.
Okay, what are the main benefits of the merge, and what impact will it have on gas price?
Okay. So basically, talking about benefits. Okay. So right now, proof of work will require miners. Okay. So there are some miners, right, who solve that mathematical puzzles. So to do that, there is a like high computational power. You require like high computational power. Okay. So there are like mega companies who have a very strong, very like hardware resources they have, and they do the mining. Okay, and it costs you very much, and it's very highly like energy insufficient inefficient. Okay, so to do that, you require like many resources like hardware, computational power, and then it's energy inefficient as well. But when it's come to proof of stake, there are validators. Okay, there's no energy is required into the like to validate any transaction, right? So that's why it's energy efficient. We are making the whole chain energy efficient, and I think the merge will also make the ETH token deflationary. So right now, I think there are like per day there are around 16,000 or 13,000 coins minted per day, but which like annual inflation rate is about 4%. But after POS comes, it will be like annual inflation rate will become like would come down to I think 0.4%. So
Wow.
this is the second, yeah, second main reason. So efficiency and then deflationary asset. Yeah.
Okay,
And
awesome.
okay, I think there was one more question. Okay, gas price. Okay. So basically, the this merge is only to improve the ecosystem consensus mechanism, and it will not improve the chain's capacity. So there would be no impact on gas price as of now. Yeah. That's
Okay, so keeping that in mind, as well as I have heard, like it's about this thing. So basically, the number of transactions also will affect. Like earlier, there were X number of transactions, okay, which in comparison to Solana were very less, correct?
yes.
So will
Mhm.
it change? Will that also change?
Yeah. So I think we are hoping that finality. I think we will achieve near finality where transaction will be approved or added to the chain more faster than before, because there is no like the validation is a faster process, and you will not require to do a hard work of solving a mathematical puzzle and then adding the data. So yeah, I think that would obviously help in faster transactions.
Okay, okay, got it. Okay, let's move ahead to the next question then.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. How is the investment scenario in the current bear market? So to make it more, like understanding, what all assets are people currently, basically investing in? Because I've
Mhm.
heard something around like from your slides itself, there are various assets. Okay, so why don't you, tell something about that?
Yeah, I think in bear market the total market cap has also came down to like one by third what it was before in the peak time, like the summer as we call it. So yeah, definitely the market scenario is bad right now. But according to me, people are taking like very less risk right now. They are not investing in new tokens and like not taking very much risk with the market and just sticking to the main like tokens, which is Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Polygon. So just these basics tokens, right?
The
So
OG
yeah,
token.
the OG tokens, correct.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, are there
That,
any other assets? Because see, somewhere I'm feeling that NFTs and virtual real estate, all of these things are also taking a little hype. So what about them?
yeah. So I think we reached bull market for NFTs. I think in 2020, somewhere around 2021. Okay, and right now also there are some NFTs projects which are like impacting and like they have such a strong use case. So I think those NFTs are doing pretty good in the market, and but again like there are so many useless NFTs as well. So yeah, people are only taking like their chance with those established projects and like the main NFTs, right? Yeah,
Right,
but,
right.
like in comparison to DeFi, NFTs are basically like doing good, pretty good. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
That answers it all. Why don't we move it to the next question?
yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. So how do you like? How did you start in DeFi? I guess we have already answered that, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did
Yeah.
you start in DeFi? Would you want to add some more points to it? Or
No, I think I covered pretty, yeah, all of the things. Yeah. Yes.
right. Okay. So
Yeah, we can
let me
move to
ask.
the next question. Yeah.
Right, right. What are the challenges you are facing as founders, and what do you think that the ecosystem needs?
Okay, yeah, this is a good question actually. So, right now, as we all know it, that winter market is here, bear market is here. So, obviously, like we are facing challenges to find like genuine advisors or like experts on our platform. Okay, so we are finding it little difficult. Second thing is funding aspect as well. So fundings has like slowed down a bit, like very much it has slowed down. Like all the investors are like taking a little pause in this time, and then they'll make decisions later on. So yeah, these are the I think two main challenges. But then again, we are taking the community first approach on our product. So we are just focusing on creating that base, like creating those communities on our platform, and then we'll think about the next step. So yeah, that's, and I think there is one more that is my personal opinion, that right now women entrepreneurs are very less in this space, or like in general Web 2 as well. So the
Yeah,
like I went to many meetups in Web 3 where I was only girl, or like there are only 3 or 5 girls, okay, out of like
right.
50 men. So yeah, that is like pretty bad situation. So yeah, I think
I
that
don't.
is
Okay, so I'd like to say that I somewhere agree to you on that. Okay,
hmm.
it's not only about being a girl or being a woman over there. I feel it's
Yeah.
a very new space. Okay,
Correct.
Web3. Okay,
Hmm.
and to the meetups I have been, it's usually people who are wanting to learn more. They don't know anything about it.
Hmm.
I've, okay, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I've met founders who don't know even the W of Web3, okay, or
Okay.
B of blockchain, but they want to build something on Ethereum or Solana. So I feel
Hmm.
there's a gap of education there. That's definitely
Yes.
one, okay,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
maybe because of that, okay, somewhere where I must assume that it's not stereotypical, but somewhere I don't know if uh, girls are more developers. I feel there are less girl developers or women developers.
Yeah,
Correct?
I mean the whole participation is only low, so you
Exactly.
can't blame anyone. But yeah, there
Exactly.
I am not sure if you know, but there is Phoenix Guild. Okay, that is a group of women who are empowering more and more women to get into Web3 space, and they recently hosted their first hacker house in Bangalore. Few days, I think last weekend. Yeah, so it was
Oh,
very good, and it was very like there was like participation of around 40 women developers, and
wow.
actually all of them were not developers, okay, but
Definitely not.
even if you have something to contribute in the idea, okay, even
Right.
if you want to learn, okay, that, I mean, that also is sufficient for you to get into this space if you have that
Exactly.
passion to learn, right? Yeah, so
Exactly.
it was really great experience. Yeah.
No, definitely. We should have more meetups. Basically,
Yeah.
where I feel meetups are a place to learn more about the other person, as well as maybe try giving yourself a experimental factor that I can also do it.
Correct.
Right? That's
Yeah.
also there. Okay, and yeah, definitely. So, Shalu, like I think that was pretty good. Let's move it to the next question then.
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah.
Okay, what is the purpose of a synthetic token?
Okay, so that is a good question. Okay, so synthetic token, as I mentioned, like it's a kind of a derivative which takes its value from an underlying asset. Let's say Bitcoin. There will be synthetic token of Bitcoin, and there will be okay. So now, if you don't want to, like, if you want to create an ecosystem where only your tokens will be traded. Okay, so let's say in for Trikl, okay, let's say for Trikl in future we want to have our own synthetic tokens in our own pool. Okay, there will be a liquidity pool of our own tokens of synthetic tokens. So that will be limited in our ecosystems only, and no one from outside ecosystem will be able to get in and like hamper those, I mean, the prices of those synthetic tokens, right? Only the people in ecosystem will be able to trade it or like buy and sell and those things, like lend it, staking. So I think that's where synthetic tokens comes into the picture. So that's how I think the synthetics, the company which I mentioned in my PPT is also doing it. So basically, they are providing those synthetic tokens to make some trades and then generate some revenue. And then they are copying, I mean, they are following the prices of real Bitcoin, like real assets. So, yeah.
Okay,
I think the
okay,
same idea with the derivatives which we have in stock market as well,
correct,
right?
correct,
Yeah,
correct.
it's the same idea, correct. Yeah.
It's basically we're just repurposing the old stuff into new. Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. Awesome. Let's go ahead with the next question. What are DeFi platform examples? Like some examples of DeFi platforms.
Okay, I think the famous one is Aave protocol, which
Okay.
has like lending and borrowing kind of stuff. Then I think all the dexes. like
Mhm.
DYDX, and then we have Uniswap, right? Uniswap is used to basically swap your tokens. You can go to their
Right.
app, and then you can swap tokens into one another, right? And there are DYDX where you can buy and sell your tokens or assets. So yeah, these are the some famous examples of these applications.
Okay, so is there any difference between them, or like all do the same things but cater to different audiences?
No, no. So basically, Uniswap is to just for swapping the tokens. There you can't buy or sell anything, right? And
Okay.
like the Dex's part, there you can actually like buy tokens and sell them to others. So yeah, that's how like that's the basic
So
difference between.
Pancake Swap and others
Yeah.
also.
So basically, Pancake Swap and Uniswap works on the same. I mean,
Okay.
I think Pancake Swap is a fork of Uniswap. So yeah, yes, sir. They
Okay.
work the similar manner. Yeah. The,
Right,
yes.
right. Okay, no worries. I hope we are almost at the end of the question set. Okay,
Yeah.
we might have the last question today. So let's go ahead with that. Is DeFi the future of finance?
Yeah, I think I strongly believe this. Okay, so DeFi is the future, as and when we will go ahead with more adoption in the Web3 space. More, so I'll give you one scenario. Okay, so recently I think many crypto exchanges in India, like the centralized exchanges, freezed accounts, right, due to unclear regulations, and
Oh,
the
yes.
yes. So basically, whenever you are giving your money to centralized authorities, right, they have the ownership of your assets, and they can like there are so many cases where banks went bankrupt and then they hold your assets. You will not get your money back, right? So I think to solve these challenges, more and more people will be moving to DeFi in coming future, and when the Web3 adoption will increase, and like we will have like a strong use cases and a strong dApps and like more and more infrastructure made, I think yeah, DeFi is the future. So yeah, that would be my answer.
Okay, okay. So let me ask you this. Let's take DeFi is the future of finance. Okay. Do you think is there any other alternative also in the future of finance rather than DeFi?
That's an interesting question and needs some thinking. Yeah. So I think, yeah. No, I think not all people would be comfortable with DeFi, and some people will still be sticking with the centralized finance because it's okay. We can all agree that they have more user friendly applications, right? They have simpler steps. So I think yeah, that would be the case for some people who will stick to the centralized finance. But if I'll think of some other ecosystem, I'm not pretty sure at the moment if something comes
Hey,
up.
I feel you have somewhere answered it because this is what something which I read. Like, not everything can be made decentralized. Okay,
Correct. Hmm.
correct. So probably there is a stance of basically some section of the society having their finance centralized to the current ecosystem as well. Correct.
Correct. Correct.
So
Correct.
definitely, I
Huh.
guess there can be two worlds where one thing runs on DeFi, one thing runs on basically the normal general tradition.
I think there is one startup I came into recently. What they were doing, they are creating your wallet, like non-custodial wallet, using your Gmail only. Okay, so you will not have to do the whole task of saving your phrase, like the phrase, and like
Okay.
save saving your private keys. They will
Mhm.
do it for you. Like half of the key will stay with you, half of the key will stay with them, and it's like in fully encrypted form, so no one can look at it. And like just by using your Gmail, you will be able to have that wallet with you. Okay, and you don't need to take care of your phrases and like private key and everything, and you can do the transactions with your wallet. So I think these
Yeah.
kind of applications make sense in coming future, and which will help like more Web2 users to understand the technology and try it without getting into the ecosystem like hard way. So
Correct.
yeah, correct. Though that infrastructure is what we need. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Shalu, today has been really great. Okay, the way we started off, the way we discussed about your background, how you entered into becoming an entrepreneur. Okay, and how Trikl came into place, then whole DeFi 101. Okay, now the questions. How do you feel about it? How has an experience been, in today's session with Tekram? How do you feel about
No, it was really great experience for me, like answering all these questions. Like I also got to learn about all like new things on myself. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it was pretty good experience for me talking with
it?
you guys and like being on this platform. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like best 1 hour spent in a day. Yeah. So
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely. Why not? Why not?
and talking to you, yeah, it was really fun.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
there's more. Like it's not only this. We should definitely have a conversation outside this
yes,
masterclass.
correct.
We'll get to know way much more topics we could, explore on ideas. I love
Yeah.
to talk about startups even because I've been into
Oh,
that space for a long time now. So
yeah.
definitely, we should definitely do that. But coming back to this masterclass today, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So any last words? Any thoughtful advices or anything you would want basically the people to learn. It can be from DeFi, your journey as an entrepreneur, or your journey as a woman entrepreneur. That's also a vertical. Or would you want to give any last statements around that?
Yeah, so I think the first one, if you are entering into DeFi space, just take all the precaution. Don't fall into scams. Like many people fall into scam when they get like a start, right? And like keep your private keys and phrases with yourself. Don't share it with anybody. Keep it offline. I would say like keep it offline, your phrases and everything. Don't keep it on like somewhere in Keep or like Google or somewhere else. So yeah, that was my advice when you get started in DeFi. And I mean, if you have female friends, I would want to give this message. If you have a female friend, please tell her to get into this space, explore this space because this is the future. Okay, we'll be moving like to Web3 pretty soon and pretty fast. Okay, like in next 4 5 years, will be the adoption of Web3 space would be much more than it is today. So yeah, I will like request you guys to like encourage your female friends and female colleagues to get into this space, get to know it more, and like see if you can build something meaningful which will help this whole ecosystem grow. So yeah, that's
Exactly,
my
definitely. Why not? We need more power women, more women entrepreneurs coming in, okay, and more, force with force, hunger of growing more, doing more, so that it's a both-sided, a fully,
yes,
two-hand ecosystem, right? So
yeah,
definitely, we should bring in more entrepreneurs. It's not only about women. We like many industries need to come to Web3 as well.
yes, yes,
Correct?
yes, correct,
Definitely that also.
yeah.
Okay, Shalu, any last statement, any ending statements before we,
Yeah,
wrap up?
yeah, I would like to thank Rakaram for having me, and like I really enjoyed it. I'm not like lying. It was a really great experience for me. Like this was my first 101 session, basically giving like these kind of
Okay,
presentations. So yeah, it was a learning for me as well. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me, Rakaram. Yeah,
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Shalu, for
yeah.
um, letting me host you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you could leave now. It's like you can stay there. It's totally fine.
Okay.
I just have a closing statement.
Okay, sure. I'll leave. Bye bye. Thank you.
Sure. No, okay. Okay, that was a different touch, but okay. I'm sure all of us had fun today, and I definitely had fun. Hosting Shalu and Trikl team. So I hope today was a learning curve for each one of us today because I definitely learned DeFi from scratch. Okay, and I thank all of you who has been a part of this whole masterclass from the beginning, and I really acknowledge you for your active participation as well. Okay, um, we at Techram, would like to definitely give a huge shout out to Shalu as well as the team Trickle for giving us a better understanding of how DeFi works, okay, how different asset management work, as well as how Trickle is going to start building, okay, a whole community based DeFi ecosystem in the coming months. Okay, with that, okay, I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors as well as our partners for today. Okay, just to remind you all again, we have had 80 plus companies hiring today on this particular event. So log on to the Recurring website and you can avail remote as well as internship opportunities from across the globe. Okay, adding on to that, just to remind you again, we're providing you with NFT minted certificates. Okay, these certificates can you can carry them as a unique memory from today's event. So log on to the Recurring website, connect your wallet directly, and you will be able to avail your POAP, basically proof of attendance, NFTs, within the next 24 to 30 hours. Okay, I hope you all had a great time. Okay, I definitely had a very great time and learning curve today, and we would love to host more speakers, more companies, and various other topics around Web3. Okay, so we look forward to you suggesting us on more speakers, events, or people who would you like us to host. So looking forward to that. Thank you for coming up today. This is Lakshmittal signing off.